In this video, you can see an unusual technique. We managed to establish what it was, a battle between the Ukrainian armed forces and Russian ground drones near Berdychi. Now that we have a video from the Ukrainian side, it seems possible to conduct a more detailed analysis of this episode. What is that robot or platform in the video? Despite their use as weapons carriers, these machines cannot be classified as robots in the full sense of the word. In reality, they are remotely controlled land platforms that do not have autonomy. This means that they are not able to make decisions independently and act in unforeseen situations, relying on the operator's commands. What is the origin of these platforms? Judging by the design features of the chassis as well as several other technical solutions, it is doubtful that these platforms are a product of the Russian defense industry. Their development reveals childhood diseases, characteristic of garage developments and not of the products of experimental industrial enterprises. This suggests that this may be the initiative of enthusiasts who decided to test it in combat conditions. What is their effectiveness? The use of platforms has shown mixed results. On the one hand, they partially completed the task, suppressing some enemy firing points using AGS automatic grenade launchers. According to the military, the platforms have demonstrated their mobility and firepower, which could potentially make them an effective tool on the battlefield. What is their economic feasibility? On the other hand, both platforms were disabled due to suppression of communication channels and subsequently destroyed by enemy drones. Considering the high cost of the platforms, their use in this case cannot be considered economically profitable. The losses of the Ukrainian armed forces in this episode turned out to be higher than the potential benefits from the use of these platforms. What are the development prospects? The battle near Berdychi became one of the stages of testing ground robotic platforms. Despite the promise of this area, these platforms are unlikely to find widespread use in their current form. To do this, they require modifications aimed at increasing survivability on the battlefield, autonomy, and protection from electronic warfare systems. What further developments will there be? We should expect the emergence of robotic or optionally manned vehicles based on serial tanks and infantry fighting vehicles. This will make it possible to use existing developments and increase the reliability and survivability of equipment. Small platforms, similar to those used at Berdychi, can be used to perform reconnaissance, mine clearance, evacuation, cargo delivery to the battlefield, and other tasks that do not require direct contact with the enemy. Influence on the course of hostilities? The battle near Berdychi demonstrated that robotic platforms can play a role on the battlefield. However, their effectiveness and feasibility of use require further study and evaluation. Ethical issues. The use of remotely controlled platforms raises several ethical issues. In particular, the question arises about the degree of responsibility of the operator for the actions of the platform, as well as the possibility of causing harm to civilians. International law. The use of robotic platforms in warfare also raises questions from an international law perspective. It is necessary to develop clear rules and restrictions governing the use of such systems. Conclusion: the battle near Berdychi became an important stage in the development of military technology. It demonstrated the potential of robotic platforms, but also identified several problems that need to be addressed. Further development of this area will depend on a thorough analysis and evaluation of the experience gained.